T-Mobile Alcatel LINKZONE 2 promises pocket-sized internet that keeps the whole crew online, all day, anywhere. Either we've reached backpack-friendly freedom for under $50 or it's another round of tech roulette. On paper it sounds criminally generous. 4G LTE up to 150 Mbps, connects up to 16 devices, a chunky battery that can run for a full day and even reverse charge your phone, plus T-Mobile's Band 71 for better rural range. But here's the thing, specs don't tell you how it behaves when your kid is streaming, your laptop's on a Zoom call, and you're halfway between towers. I bought one renewed for $45, carried it for 10 days across city, suburb, and highway, and stress-tested it with speed tests, streaming, and battery drains. I've put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 10 days of testing. Here's what the LINKZONE 2 claims to do. It's a 4G LTE hotspot meant to deliver fast, reliable mobile internet up to 150 Mbps, share Wi-Fi with up to 16 devices, last up to a full day thanks to a large battery, and even act as a power bank. Work unlocked with any carrier SIM. Sounds convenient, right? For road trips, RV life, or backup home internet, that's a tidy promise at this price. But here's where things get interesting. Reality check. They claim 150 Mbps. What you actually get is LTE Cat 4 performance, which tops out at 150 in a lab, but in real life you're not getting carrier aggregation or 5G boosts. In my tests across 3 neighborhoods at 9 a.m., noon, and 8 p.m., I saw 1235 Mbps most of the time, a peak at 72 Mbps next to a strong site, and a low of 2.5 Mbps during primetime congestion. Ping bounced between 35-80 ms. Let's be real, it's fine for browsing, HD streaming, and email, but if you're expecting fiber-like speeds, that's not happening. They claim up to 16 devices. What you actually get is usable performance for 3-6 clients before the party falls apart. Here's where it gets mathematically impossible. If you have 20-30 Mbps total and split that across 10 devices, each is sipping 2-3 Mbps at best, and Wi-Fi contention on 2.4 GHz makes latency spike. With 4 devices streaming 1080p YouTube simultaneously, I had 2 run clean, 1 buffer occasionally, and 1 drop to 480p. Add a laptop doing a download and the whole thing felt sluggish. They imply all-day battery and power bank. Reality, the pack is big for a hotspot, but the headline number assumes light use. With 2 phones and a laptop connected continuously, I got 8-10 hours before shutdown. With a single phone idling and occasional browsing, it stretched toward 18 hours. As a power bank, it trickle charges a phone slowly via USB and slashes your hotspot runtime. It's a nice emergency trick, not a daily habit. They say unlocked for any carrier. What you actually get varies by unit and network. Yes, many renewed LINKZONE 2 units are SIM unlocked, but hardware bands skew T-Mobile first. It shines on and Metro, where bands 71 and 12 help range. On AT&T, coverage can work in band 2, 4, 12 areas, but speeds drop where carrier aggregation or missing bands matter. On Verizon, it's hit or miss, and often a miss. Also, carriers can require hotspot plans or block tethering on cheap phone SIMs. I popped in a data SIM and it worked immediately. An AT&T prepaid SIM required manual APN edits and still felt inconsistent. If you're buying this to jump between carriers every week, that's not switching, that's expensive confusion. Here's the plot twist. Wi-Fi is 2.4 GHz only on most LINKZONE 2 units. No 5 GHz means more interference in apartments and crowded areas. It'll reach farther through walls, but your neighbors' microwaves and routers are your new roommates. Speed and reliability. The device is fine for one laptop, a tablet, and a phone doing normal stuff. It can do a 1080p stream plus email and Slack with headroom. When congestion hits, it drops first because Cat 4 has no advanced scheduling tricks. Compared to a used Netgear Nighthawk M1, Cat 16 I tested side by side, the M1 held 60-120 Mbps in the same spot while the LINKZONE 2 sat at 20-40 Mbps. Different class, different outcome. Battery life. My loop test with a laptop doing a 5 Mbps video stream, a phone on social, and another on music ran 9 hours 12 minutes before the hotspot died. Standby overnight consumed about 10-12%. Heat was noticeable but not scary. The plastic shell gets warm under load and in a hot car it will throttle. Pro tip, don't leave it baking on the dash. Wi-Fi range and build. Range is decent through one interior wall, getting sketchy at 35-40 feet with interference. Because it's 2.4 GHz only, you'll feel congestion in apartments and condos. The shell is basic plastic, pocketable with USB-C charging. The tiny screenless design means you'll do setup in the web UI. Once configured, it's fire and forget. Firmware is barebones. You can set APNs, SSID password, and basic security, but don't expect VPN clients or parental controls. Here's what nobody tells you. Many Amazon listings are refurbished carrier returns. Some come with old firmware or APNs baked in. A factory reset and manual APN entry usually fixes connection weirdness. A handful of users report random disconnects after a few hours. In my test, I saw one drop during a handoff between towers at highway speed and one freeze that required a reboot after 3 days of continuous uptime. On the flip side, plenty of travelers and RVers praise it as a cheap backup that just works on T-Mobile where phones get decent bars. Buy with caution. At around $45 renewed and a 3.8 rating, the LINKZONE 2 is worth it if you need a budget hotspot for or metro, light to moderate use, travel, or backup during outages. It's not a home internet replacement, and it's not great for juggling 10 devices or heavy uploads. Pros: cheap, band 71 for reach, solid battery for the size, USB-C, simple setup. Cons: LTE Cat 4 speeds, 2.4 GHz only Wi-Fi, mixed results off T-Mobile, performance nosedives with many clients. If you want faster and more future-proof, look at a used Netgear Nighthawk M1 M2 or a 5G hotspot like the Inseego M2000, but you'll pay 3-6x more. For the price, the LINKZONE 2 is a practical, no-frills tool. Stay savvy out there. Thanks for hanging out with me on this deep dive. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I've put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these investigations without costing you extra. Tell me where you plan to use a hotspot most: home backup, road trips, or campus. Next up, I'm comparing this to the Franklin T10 and a used Nighthawk to find the best sub $100 pick. Until then, test before you trust.